My name is Terri. I'm a resident, as you all know, of Hartford, Connecticut, and mentor to young at-risk youth, and the Smart Justice Leader with the ACLU of Connecticut. Something that I've been doing since I was 14 years old. I am now 60. I am here to testify in support of HB 5055, and that concerning self-defense, defense of a third person, and assisting in or affecting an arrest as affirmative defense. I want to thank the committee for raising this bill for a public hearing and share a story about what I experienced and why this bill is super important to me. On September 21st, 1991, I was in a club celebrating with friends before I was ready to be deployed for Desert Storm. It was a crowded club, and I accidentally stepped on a man's foot. I apologized to him, but then he hit me several times. And at first I was shocked and didn't understand what was going on. And then defensively, I hit him back. Before anything, my best friend who was with me started hitting the guy as well. And in return, he fired a gun through his coat and shot me in the stomach several times, which I have permanent life damages from 18 stomach surgeries and all of the above. My friend Stephanie was arrested because she stayed by my side through the whole entire incident. And because she was from Brooklyn, New York, where the assumed shooter at the time, which we didn't know because he went on a run, was from, they arrested her and assumed she was with him and on the crime. So they held her for 3 days while I was in a coma until my family said, no, she came with my sister to the club. So it took for me, and give me a second because this is very emotional, and I know I'm on the clock, but I normally don't take your time, but this is serious. At some point in life, we are going to be forced to pick a side. How can doing good by another human lead to an arrest, jail, and criminal record? That doesn't make sense. If you ask us to help our fellow neighbors and fellow citizens, you ask us to see something and say something, then we shouldn't be punished for it. Anytime someone asks in a manner of assisting anyone in any bodily harm, which the police can get them for, what would you expect for a human to do? Stand there? I thank y'all for hearing my testimony. Please, I urge this committee to consider HB 5055. This is one of the hardest testimonies I had to testify in my life, because this guy that I didn't press charge on is now out and looking for me. I've laid eyes on him, but my thing is Stephanie. Her life was ruined for being a best friend to me. That's not fair. And we can't ask, if you see something, say something. If you see somebody being assaulted, do something, and then expect for that person to go to jail willingly with no help. And a lot of these people don't have bond money. So that process is a process that a judge should be able to make to push this process along. Okay. You know, I went completely off my testimony because it's personal.
That's
this
okay.
Is personal.
We understand.
This is personal. It's really, really personal. I know y'all like, this is a young lady that have went through hell in her life. Yes, I have. I've come from the mud. They say blood is thicker than water, but nothing thicker than mud.
Right.
And all these years I'm shedding. And I'm telling these stories so we can make changes. So these things don't continue to happen to no human being. Okay. Because for that matter, what are we here for? Okay. There has to be a world of peace. Right. And to put some of these things in place.
No, we thank you for sharing this with you. Are there any questions or comments from members of the committee?
I'm sorry, Gus, I couldn't. I had to do it.
Representative Porter?
I have no questions. I just want to thank you, Terry. I know
You
the
ask whatever you
trauma.
want.
I know the triggers, and I just really want to salute you in this moment for being vulnerable and for coming before us and sharing such intimate details around your life and what you've been subjected to. They haven't fallen on deaf ears. Thank you, and God bless. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Representative Porter. And again, Ms. Ricks, thank you very much for sharing your story. Oh, sorry, Representative Khan.
It's okay, thank you. Terry, thank you for sharing your story. I know you said you went off script, so I just wanted to give you an opportunity if you did want to speak to the bill. If not, thank you so much for being here.
I did want to say, a thing to the bill. If you could give me like 20 seconds just to stop shaking, I have like 2 lines that I specifically would like to. If a person is arrested in the act of coming to another person's offense, then there should be an option for a judge to dismiss a person's charge rather than make a person go through months of court days, perhaps a Division A program, possibly a conviction. There needs to be an option for the judge to dismiss the charge, and when it comes to HB 5505, it is important to note that this is in regard to situations where people are acting with the intent to protect another person, not with the intent to harm another person. That is what I wanted to make this bill be a point of. Not intentions to harm, to help, to save, to serve. I'm a 6-year Army vet. We are taught to serve. So any person that's from the military see somebody being hurt, we are going to jump in.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments from members of the committee? All right, seeing none. Again, thank you very much for sharing your story.
I appreciate y'all for always listening, and I hope one day that I won't only be the only one from Hartford standing up. Thank you.
you.